He stood there for a long minute, panting, eyes closed as he enjoyed the fading rush of the release. His hands still intertwined in her hair, his grip so tight that it was as if he was hanging on for dear life. When he finally let her go, her body hit the floor like dead weight. "Bitch, why you laying on the floor like that?" Zion asked, his voice flat with bored irritation. He reached for a silk robe on a nearby chair, stepping over her body like mud he didn't want on his shoes. "Get the fuck up. You look goofy as hell." But she didn't move. She lay there in the middle of the room, surrounded by millions of dollars of decor, showing no sign of life. The quiet in the room became dense, heavy as a secret aging in the dark. "Bitch, get your stupid ass off the floor," Zion said, walking over and giving her a swift, dismissive kick. It snapped her back into consciousness. She slowly began to collect herself, pushing up and leaning against the bed. Zion watched, irritation building the longer it took. "It's time to go," he said, his voice monotone, with no concern of her well-being. "I'll call you when I need you again." "Why do you treat me like this, Zion?" she asked, her voice a thin thread of sound. "You treat sex like a punishment. What the fuck did I do to you?" Zion looked down at her with a kind of disgust reserved for something beneath notice, like a smudge on the window. "You ain't my bitch. I don't give a fuck about what you feeling. You are here when I need you, there when I don't. Simple." He said it with a flat indifference, like he was explaining the rules to a game she'd never had a chance to win. "Be careful how you handle me," she said. The words left her mouth slow and deliberate, vibrating with an authority that didn't belong in the room. Zion laughed, a harsh, ugly sound. He reached into his nightstand, pulled his Glock, and pressed the cold barrel to the center of her forehead. "Or what? You gonna put a spell on me?" He said it with a bored confidence of a man that didn't believe she could do a thing. "This bullet will end that little magic show. Now hocus pocus your ass up before I make you disappear." He muffed her forehead with the steel, the pressure leaving a red ring on her skin. She didn't say another word. She got up, her movements fluid and hauntingly calm. She went to the side of the bed, gathering her clothes, sliding on her panties and leggings with a quiet grace. As she was putting on her shirt, her eyes locked on the most important thing in the room, her purse. Inside was a fine powder, a substance whispered over by tongues that had long ago turned to dust in the soils of the islands. As she walked over to the bag, she began to chant in Haitian Creole in the silence of her mind. It was a spell only used a few times in history, known to call an ancestor who did not forgive lightly. She grabbed her purse and made her way to the door, her ass moving like every step was a reminder that God don't rush good work. As she passed the threshold, she stopped. With her back still turned to the room, she pulled out a small vial of the powder and spoke. "Spirits. Spirits who walk in the night. Hear my words now. Let him feel what he has done to me." Zion, irritated that she was still in his eye line, moved towards the door to slam it shut. But before he can reach the handle, she turned around and blew the powder directly into his face. Zion stopped in his tracks, his lungs seizing as he began to cough. The dust was fine, shimmering like ground diamonds in the air. "Now feel what I felt," she said, her voice carrying a quiet certainty as the room filled with the ancient dust. She closed the door and stepped aside, letting the ancestors collect their due.